be wondering, what is PoE and why is it important? PoE, also known as Power over Ethernet Protocol, is a technology that is used for sending both electrical power and data through a single Ethernet cable. Now, what are the two cables that I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Ethernet cable and the power cable. So what PoE actually is, it's when these both cables are joined together. This might not be my best drawing, but something like this. Imagine two different cables. We have the Ethernet cable and the power cable, and they're twisted together as in they're one cable. And in some cases, they're also twisted up to 4 cables. But that's only for something like this. We have two versions which have more of power. Like if you look at the different versions, we have a couple of different versions. We have 4 different versions, and each of them have increased in power over the years. So how did this all start? The concept of PoE was initially introduced in 2000. And who do you think made all this? Obviously Cisco. The only reason I'm saying it's obviously Cisco because Cisco has created most of the things we see today. But if it was introduced in 2000, why was the first version introduced in 2003? That's because they were thinking of the idea and everything else in 2000, and they actually made it in 2003. And the first version they actually made was 15 watts, and as the years increased, they also increased the watts. So we got 30 watts, we got 60 watts, which is a lot of power. And not just that, there's also 90 watts, which is a lot of power. Like, you'd be probably using 90 watts for like a big company or like a business or something like that. So which was the most commonly used? Either these two. So this is type 1, this is type 2, this is type 3, we have type 4, and those are like the most main types that Cisco has created. Now, if I'm talking about PoE and you guys have a better understanding of what it is and when it was published and everything like that, what is this? Why have I created these notes? 2 types of PoE. Haven't we just talked about that? No, these are the types of PoE, yes. 2 main types, the 2 main classifications of PoE, which are active and passive. We have active and passive. Which one is more commonly used and which one is more safe and more efficient? Well, that's obviously active. But how are you guys supposed to know? Well, I'm going to explain that to you guys. So active PoE ensures safe power delivery by detecting the device's requirement before sending power. So let's say I have one switch and another switch. Okay, and I'm sending the power through the cable, yes? And one of the switches they allow 90 watts. Let's say it allows 30 watts. And I'm sending 90 watts. What is it going to do? The thing is, if you're using passive PoE, what it will actually do, it will just send it as is. It's not going to detect the power or anything. Which is a major issue because let's say you are gonna send this. So the problem is, if you're using passive, the problem, it's all gonna crash down. Like this switch might actually crash. It might blast or whatever in real life, but basically it will stop working. Why? Because you're sending something which is of higher value to something of lower value. Which basically, I'm talking about power over here, but just to give you a simpler example, I just said that. What does that basically mean? That basically means, look, in active PoE, the thing is, it can actually choose. You can actually choose what type of power you are giving to the switch. So it actually detects the power also. Like, it detects, if you read the sign over here, this is the IE standardized type of PoE, where power is only sent if a compatible device is detected on the network. By compatible, we mean if, let's say, if you have 90 or another 90, it will only choose that. Or for example, if you have 90 watts and you're 30 watts, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to send less amounts of power to the other switch. That's what I mean by compatible. You can read this and stop the video if you want to. And what are some examples of an active PoE? We have the IE triple standard 802.3AF and another one 802.3AT and another one 802.3BT. So most of them are in the active PoE selection classification, and the other ones, there are some types, but I haven't written them down over here. Now, what is passive? You can read this if you want to. This type does not adhere to any standard and sends power without verifying the device compatibility, as I just explained. So it doesn't need to verify how much power it needs to send. It just sends it, basically. It does not think about it. It just sends it. And the problem with this is, what if you're sending too much watts to the other switch? What if you're sending too much watts to the other device, or like your phone, cell phone, and anything like that? Now, what are some examples of PoE and where it is used? It's used in something like devices like cameras, security cameras, we have phones and access points. Most commonly used out of these two, the tube types, are active because it is much more safer, has much higher levels of compatibility, and it can adhere to the standardized power protocols, making it suitable for most commercial and professional settings. So it's used in most businesses, most companies. And that was all for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a better understanding of what PoE is, Power over Ethernet Protocol. And yeah, thank you so much. Bye. So guys, let's jump into a small lab. So as you can see, we have one switch, and there are 4 phones that I've connected with a fast Ethernet port, and as you can see, they're green, which basically means they're connected. So I'll just explain to you guys what I've done. So I was just watching a video of network check, and as you can see, all of them are green also. So they're all connected and they're all green, and so basically I've just done a really simple configuration. I've done a show command, which is show power inline, which really shows me how power of Ethernet is really getting displayed and how it's working. It's really it's showing me the watts, how much watts in each interface, and it's showing me the devices that are connected to it, and it's really showing me everything in this, everything that I need to know how to identify for power of Ethernet. So everything of power of Ethernet is inside over here, and the main purpose of power over Ethernet in data networking is to deliver both power and data over a single Ethernet cable. This simplifies installation by removing the need for separate power cables, which is actually very important because let's say you have 2 different cables, that'll be much more difficult. Instead, you can just connect one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Bye!